As of recording this, I have well over 100 tabs open on my browser. There are a couple of YouTube videos about something I can't even remember, a PDF I downloaded 3 days ago and haven't touched, an article I started reading this morning, and who knows what other things that seemed important when I clicked on them, but now just sit there waiting for the World Wide Web. And what's worse is that I do this every day. I wake up, check my phone, promise myself I'll complete that task I've been attempting to complete for months, get through maybe about half the task, and then find myself scrolling through whatever catches my eye. I tell myself I'm being productive because I'm learning things, right? But am I really? At night, when I lie in bed, my mind races through all the things that I could be. I could be a writer, a traveler, someone who speaks 3 languages fluently, someone who's read all the great books, someone who's actually finishes what they start. I want to wake up early and also stay up late. I want to be disciplined and also spontaneous. I want to do everything, so I end up doing nothing. And that's the trap. When you look up at all the mountains you could climb, you end up standing still at the base, neck craned upward and paralyzed by choice. I finished my schooling a year ago, and since then I've been in this strange limbo. Not because I don't have options, but because I have too many. I'm passionate about business, about photography, about harmonica, and about learning new skills. And sometimes I feel the pressure to pick just one, to become the type of person who actually has their life figured out. But here's what I've realized. I don't have to figure it out. At least, not yet. I could blame this on my personality or my generation or the fact that we live in a world with infinite choices. But the truth is, this feeling of wanting to do everything and ending up doing nothing is fairly universal, especially when you're young and the whole world feels new and open to you. There's a movie called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Some of you may have heard about it, but it's about a man who works at Life magazine and spends his days daydreaming about adventures he'll never take. He imagines himself as a fearless explorer, a heroic mountain climber, a romantic hero, but in reality he just processes photographs and lives the same boring routine every day. But eventually something happens that forces Walter out of his comfort zone. A cover photograph of the last magazine issue of the company goes missing. And if he doesn't find it, he could end up imprisoned, and suddenly, he's actually living the adventures he's only dreamed about. He's jumping out of helicopters, skateboarding through Iceland, and climbing mountains in the Himalayas. But he didn't do them all at once. He started with just one, and each singular adventure led him to another. And I won't spoil it for you, but it ends up great. And while the movie isn't directly about it, it taught me that we as humans are horribly limited. We can't do everything at once. We can't be everywhere we want to be. We can't be everyone we want to be. We can't live all the lives we want to live. So what do we do with that reality? Well, recently I've been trying something different. Instead of keeping all those browser tabs open, instead of trying to read 5 books at once, I've been focusing on one thing at a time. Right now, that thing is starting a YouTube channel. For the longest time, I was afraid to put in the continued work, afraid that my videos weren't good enough, afraid I'd fail. But if I want to become good at this, I need to practice. So I started this. I'm still finding my voice, still figuring out what I want to say and how I want to say it, but I'm not rushing the process. I'm choosing to use this time, this privilege of not having everything figured out, to work on something that calls to me right now. Maybe in a year, I'll realize YouTube isn't for me. Maybe I'll discover something else that excites me more. And that's okay. Like Walter from that movie, there is no set path in stone, but the experience won't be wasted, and I'll never regret trying. If you're feeling the same way, overwhelmed by options or paralyzed by possibility, here's what I've learned. Allow yourself to be a beginner at something. Pick one mountain to climb, not because it's the perfect mountain, but because it's there. Because you can, because you want to see what's on the other side. Try different things, just not all at the same time. Think about what's calling you right now, which passion makes your heart beat a little faster when you think about it, and try that one thing for a while. Give yourself grace when you stumble, be disciplined even when you don't feel like. And you discover it wasn't for you, that's not failure, that's learning. You can always try something different because there's still time. In fact, there's more time than you think. The reality of life is that you don't always have to know where you're going next. Sometimes it's okay to climb the mountains just because it's there. Sometimes it's okay to choose a perfect path, not because it's perfect, but because it's the one thing that interests you today. You'll be fine. We'll all be fine. Even if we can't do everything, we can do something. And something, as it turns out, is often enough.